From Lagos, the nation's commercial capital, this is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight.
Hello and welcome. I'm Olumide reporting tonight. The president says that attacks by terrorists and their allies are not capable of distracting him from moving the country forward. The federal government insists that it has reduced the spate of terror attacks considerably. The state government says 84 students abducted by terrorists in Borno State are still missing, while 45 are being accounted for.
On Business News Tonight, the chief executive of the Nigerian Stock Exchange promises to deliver on the market's target of $1 trillion capitalization.
And on sports news, Sunderland ends Jose Mourinho's 77-game unbeaten league run at Stamford Bridge.
We begin in Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital territory, where the president has assured Nigerians that he remains committed to securing lives and property in spite of repeated attacks by members of the Boko Haram group. President Goodluck Jonathan, in his Easter message to Nigerians, promised that the activities of terrorists and their allies are not capable of distracting him from successfully implementing his administration's transformation agenda. The president says that he will continue to count on the support and prayers of Nigerians in his government's bid to achieve peace, harmony, progress and prosperity in the country. Part of the statement reads, quote, "In spite of the evil machinations of terrorists, criminals and their collaborators, our administration remains ardently focused on efforts to successfully execute the federal government's agenda for national transformation and achieve sustained development." The president adds that although his administration had already made notable progress in achieving sustained development, he would not rest on his oars. According to him, his belief in the nation's ability to overcome all retrogressive and divisive forces in the midst and build a strong, united and prosperous nation by turning the unique diversity into a source of strength remains unshaken. The president promises to continue working with all interest groups in the country to achieve peaceful, secure, and politically stable conditions essential for rapid socio-economic development. President Jonathan asks Nigerians, as they celebrate Easter, to reflect on the significance of its lessons of piety, obedience to higher authorities, self-sacrifice for the good of others, redemption, salvation, deliverance, renewal, and the ultimate triumph of good over evil. Just like his principal has done, the senior special advisor to the President on Public Affairs, Dr. Doyin Okukwe, has assured Nigerians that the government is relentless in the fight against terror, but seeks the understanding of the populace as the battle continues. While acknowledging that the country is at war with the Boko Haram sect, Dr. Okukwe says that Nigerians should understand that the war has been made difficult by the nation's peculiar population and topography.
Nigeria is currently at war. All right, so what they had in America was an instant, sporadic attack on the towers. All right, and that's why George Bush came. It was sudden, it was unexpected, it was unprecedented. So he made those statements. But in our case, we have been battling this from 2009 to date. There was a time that it was almost on a daily affair. So, if somebody was bombed yesterday, somebody was killed in Borno 2 nights ago, and then, we had that something, the president cannot go to Yanya and say, and make that kind of statement. No, we are in a war situation with Boko Haram, and government already has established credible, effective, infrastructure, technical infrastructure that can fight security
But how
apparatus
effective has it been?
Coyote, you have to look at this thing very well. Nigeria is a very large, vast area with over 1 million square kilometers, right? Now, the preponderance, when Boko Haram started, yesterday I was checking it. When Boko Haram started, 12 states were engulfed in this crisis. 12 states. And there was a time the bombing was taking place on every Sunday. We were just waiting what's happened, next Sunday.
Where is it going to happen?
Yeah, what's
was
going to
the
happen
question.
next?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, but you see, the Dastardly Act shocks us, all right? And maybe sometimes it shocks our memories too. This thing has been pushed from 12 states to, now, a very tiny area of the country, the Northeast, all right, which is about 3 states. And mainly you're talking about Borno, essentially. That is where the majority of the action is taking place. So, we must give government some credit. We must give our military and security apparatus some measure of credit. And I've said it before, from the inside, I know that for every attack that becomes visible and devastating, 8 or 9 has been stopped. But, when an attack is foiled, an attack is stopped, government does not come to the and say, they were going to bomb somewhere there, and we've stopped it. It's not, this is a continuous affair. Insurgency is a serious matter. And had it not been that people are seriously working assiduously, and these are young men and women in the military, who have laid down their lives to save all of us, if not for their courage, and professionalism, Nigeria will be in a different situation altogether.
Meanwhile, the principal of the government girls' secondary school Chibok, Borno State, has appealed to the government to do more to save the teenage girls kidnapped by suspected Boko Haram members on Monday. Mrs. Asabe Kwambula is also appealing to the kidnappers to have mercy on the students. The principal says she is with the parents, praying continuously for the teenagers' safe return. Her plea is coming after the Borno State government said that 84 girls are still missing and 45 in total have managed to escape. The Borno State Commissioner of Education, Mr. Musa Kubo, in this telephone interview with Channels Television, is appealing to parents to bear with government as everything is being done to rescue the kidnapped girls.
The rescue effort by the state government is on, and we are appealing to parents to be patient as we have put in all necessary things in place to secure the release of these students. So we are appealing to the parents to be patient to us. The government is not relenting in its effort to secure the release of these students. And as at now that I'm speaking to you, we have received back 45 of these students that have come back to us. We are happy that both consultation, dialogue, and all necessary efforts are being put in place towards securing these students.
Now to some good news coming from Plateau State in Nigeria's north-central region, as warring communities in the state have resolved to put an end to destruction of lives and property. The communities have declared an immediate ceasefire among the various ethnic groups with the hope of creating an enabling environment for unity in the state. This, among other resolutions and recommendations of the Peace and Security Committee set up by the Inspector General of Police, looking into the remote and immediate causes of the crisis in Plateau State with a mandate of finding a solution to the lingering crisis.
For 2 days, various community leaders from Alsa, Fulani, Jukun, Bogom, Berom, Ron, Angas, Tarok, Wase, Bashir, and PM in Plateau State, North Central region of Nigeria, gathered at the police officers' mess discussing the way forward and finding lasting solution to the incessant attacks in the state. Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of operations, Michael Zokumo, sets the ball rolling with a challenge to the traditional rulers, community leaders and representatives of the various communities to embrace peace and coexist with one another as they were living before the outbreak of hostilities.
The well-being of the tree is the well-being of the birds. If we burn all the branches of the tree, the birds will not be there to feed. They cannot make their nest. That is why I'm calling on every person, all Nigerians, to come together and fight every threat to security, to law and order.
The meeting thereafter appointed a 28-man committee representing all the warring communities, which went into deliberations and came out with far-reaching resolutions and recommendations for peaceful coexistence in the state. Highlights of the decision include the need for the establishment of Peace and Reconciliation Committee from ward to state levels to monitor and promote peace, gazetting of grazing areas to be revisited and maintained while all blocked cattle routes are to be reopened.
The communities have resolved today to condemn unequivocally this wanton destruction of lives and properties of innocent people and also declare an immediate ceasefire. This is to create an enabling environment for dialogue for the enduring peace and unity in the state.
With agreement signed by leaders of the warring communities to embrace peace, the message should be passed to the citizens in the rural areas where the attacks were taking place, while everyone should cease fire from all hostilities and embrace peace.
Still on security issues, the frequent clashes between Tiv farmers and herdsmen on the boundaries between Nasarawa and Benue states in recent times is causing the Nasarawa State government sleepless nights. At a meeting between Governor Tanko Al-Makura and the Tiv communities, the governor said that each tribe must prefer solutions to the crisis. The Nasarawa State government is now experimenting with a new peace strategy to stem the wave of violence.
The second president government.
This meeting is to properly identify areas where people are in distress, to identify how we could resettle them back. Thirdly, to also consider ways and means of having lasting peace and security. It's a pity that the nature of settlement of the Tiv is such that it's so dispersed because of the nature of the vocation that the average Tiv man engages on. Large-scale farming, because when I took a trip from here to Giza via Kadarko, I was amazed at the rate of desertion of virtually all the communities between Kadarko and Giza. I've also been informed quite a number of communities in various local governments where the Tiv reside have this kind of problem. So I think it is high time we got to handle this matter frontally and find ways immediately where people could go back to their places of abode. One, because they need to come back and settle so that life can continue. And secondly, there is another collateral disastrous effect, because if these people don't go back, the fear, the danger, the risk of having food scarcity will be real.
Nasarawa State Governor Tanko Al-Makura. In part two, after the break. A teenage girl who had been held under horrid conditions by her parents is in dire need of help from well-meaning Nigerians. That's in a moment. Don't go away. Please stay with us.